I know the TikTok shifts are gonna come for my neck, but I don't really believe in marriage. Not in modern day, at least, because I would say that the majority of the time, it doesn't work out. And even when it doesn't end in divorce, it ends in absolutely hating and resenting each other towards the end of life. And the reality is that in most marriages, women get the short end of the stick. Like, women are the ones who have to sacrifice their careers, their health, their well-being to take care of their husband and the children. And in modern days, a lot of women are still working at the same time as doing all of that other stuff that has always been an obligation for women. I'm not like a psychopath, so there's still a part of me that like craves it. Like, I yearn for it, but logically, I just don't really care for it because I don't think that it's gonna benefit me, honestly. I feel like it's actually going to stunt my growth. It's going to stunt my career. It's just going to stunt me in so many ways, and I'm going to grow to hate that person. I didn't have to be in a marriage to have observed that in literally hundreds of marriages of the people around me. There's also a part of me that's just skeptical about the idea of being with one person for the rest of your life. And because so many people go into marriages with such high expectations, like they think it's going to significantly improve their lives, and then they're like quickly humbled within the first few years of marriage, I just feel like that actually sets people up for even more pain and heartbreak, because society and just like our families have raised us to glorify marriage or to see it as like our end-all be-all purpose in life. And when you are disappointed by that, you just, it leaves you lost and broken and confused. But yes, there's still a part of me that like yearns for it. I do feel lonely every once in a while, but I know that I'm better off alone. And I'm more so in the mindset of like, if it happens, but it'd have to be like the most ideal situations. Otherwise, I just don't think that it's worth the time and effort and pain. Not to mention, in marriage, a lot of women's needs and their, how can I say this without pissing people off? Their desires are very rarely met. So there's that aspect of it that actually leaves women feeling very frustrated. And then when they're not satisfied in their marriages, a lot of times the men will then go seek out other women because they can't satisfy their wife. Like, I just can't, why would I put myself through that? I've seen far too many marriages that have failed, or if they haven't entirely fallen apart, they leave, at least the woman for sure, just feeling so broken and regretful of even getting into the marriage in the first place. Like, most of our moms and aunts and everybody, they're miserable in their marriages and they regret marrying the men that they married. So part of it is also just like the fact that they didn't choose well, but like, that's the reality for most women. Man, the shifts are gonna come for my neck.
All right, she shared a lot, and I want to speak to as much of it as I can. All right, so the first thing that grabbed my attention is she said marriage according to modern day. So let's start with definition. What is marriage? Who created it? Who designed it? Whose idea? Who defined it? Biblically speaking, God designed marriage. It was his idea. He defines what it is. So when we look at it from that perspective, we're able to take it out of a sense of what it means to be married modern day and say, what does it mean to be married in general, just period? Because when we start adding all of these different nuances to a thing, it can lose its original definition, which is what really matters anyways. There's a reason why words have definition. There's a reason why marriage has a definition and a purpose behind it. Because when we get our hands on it, our sinful hands, our selfish hands, our broken hands on a thing, we tend to not even tend to, we mess it up. So for her, and for all who are watching this and just in this conversation, it's important that we go back to what marriage originally meant, not in modern day, but according to the creator of marriage, God himself, what he designed marriage to be, which is a covenant between a man and a woman. Of course, there's some details in it, but modern day does not define what marriage is. Ancient day does not define what marriage is. Future dates won't define what marriage is. God defines it, right? So that's the first thing. The second thing I wanted to point to is she talked about it doesn't benefit women. So in order to go into a marriage or anything, a job, a fitness journey, a financial journey, like you have to know what it is in order to determine if it will, if what benefits are there. So if you don't know what marriage is, then you could have the wrong expectations. You could be seeking out benefits that don't even exist in that thing. So she didn't really specify benefits that she was looking for, but I look at it like this. When you start talking about benefits, you start looking at it, especially as a single person, you start looking at it usually through the lens of what you want, how you want to feel, how you want it to look, what you want it to be. So that's a problem already, because when you go into a marriage, it's not just you, it's another person. So you have to look at marriage in the sense of what benefits does it bring myself and the person involved? What benefits does it bring us as one person? Or is two people becoming one? So, but I don't necessarily disagree with her on the challenges that marriage bring, because in our world, we're taught that it's about us, that whatever we commit to, it should be moving our lives forward in the way, in the direction that we want to go as individuals. It's supposed to serve us, like me, 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 me. So I can see how she's disappointed in that aspect. But even speaking in general, when she was speaking for women, she says she just don't believe it's beneficial for women, in her opinion. Well, you have to wonder, okay, like, what are women supposed to get from marriage? What are they supposed to get? You know, you have to consider these things before you even try to critique a thing. So it's almost as if she's speaking about a marriage. For one, she hasn't been married. And two, she doesn't even know, she's not speaking to who defined marriage or what marriage is supposed to look like. But yet she's looking for benefits. It's like saying, okay, I want a job with benefits, but you don't know the job. You don't know if you could do the job. You don't know the requirements of the job. You don't know the industry. You haven't gone to school for it. So it's like she's looking for something without even knowing what it requires. And then she also talked about she's seen far too many marriages. It seems exaggerative. Unless she works in an industry that allows her to see marriages, like maybe a divorce attorney, or maybe she's in family therapy. If she's not in one of those type of things, or wedding planners, to where you're seeing marriages up close and personal, she's just probably speaking broad, like going based off celebrity marriages, marriages of people she went to high school with, and maybe they're not together, but she doesn't know any details about it. And she speaks specifically about women. She never talks about like how marriage is for men. Well, by not speaking about it, in a sense, she says she's saying something. She's saying it's not for women, so she's essentially saying that marriage benefits men more than women at this point. She said women sacrifice, women, their career growth gets stunted. I'm assuming she's saying that because, you know, when you're married, you end up having children, and women tend to be more responsible for like the nurturing and upbringing of the children to some degree. I'm just kind of filling in the holes of what she did not specifically speak to. So with that being said, marriage does not serve an individual, and there are sacrifices that both people have to make. So the idea is that she's looking at, how does marriage serve me? How does marriage serve women? What sacrifices do we have to make for it to work? She's not concerned at what men have to sacrifice. She's not concerned about how it serves men, because her mindset is, she's looking at it, to me personally, seems like she's looking at it from a victim mentality. She's looking at it from a broken lens as well, in the sense that she's only looking at marriages that didn't work. This is a really one-sided take. I want to be honest about it. I think her take is really one-sided, because I know for sure, yes, there are unhealthy marriages. Yes, there are plenty of examples to say marriage is challenging. But there are also a lot of testimonies of people who are married that say what marriage is, how beautiful it is, how sacred it is, how important it is to be selfless, teaching and sharing what are benefits that women can get from it as a whole by being married to a man, being unified with a man, and just the purpose behind it all. So I think her take is really one-sided. Lastly, I just kind of want to address the fact that marriage is about having the right posture in heart. If you don't see God as the design of marriage, it's going to be hard for you. Let me just say it like this. If we don't see God as the one who designed marriage, it's going to be hard for us to really, really hold marriage as sacred outside of what we want, outside of what we think and how we feel, versus when we see it as created by God, designed by God, it's more about, God, how do you want marriage to look? How am I supposed to be in marriage as a man? Or how am I supposed to be in marriage as a woman? That's the difference. It's a posture of heart. Like, you have to shift our hearts from being like, oh, we define what marriage is versus God defines it. And then that domino effect flows into what a marriage is supposed to be, what are the benefits of marriage, how we serve one another, how a woman's supposed to be, how a man's supposed to be. And she even mentioned like that a lot of women aren't satisfied. So it makes me it seems like she was insinuating that it was like not satisfied sexually. And then she said, men then leave their wives and go find other women to experience that sexual side with, even though their wives not pleased. Like I said, this is a huge one-sided take, but my hope is that just the points that I've made would be received. And like the final point is, it's about heart posture. You got to see God as the designer of marriage, the creator of marriage, but you also have to see, for women, you have to see men as valuable and honorable. You can't go into this like, oh, she said she had to get the ideal man, and it has to be the ideal situation, meaning she wants a man that's going to view life like her, like what she serve her in a capacity that makes her say, yeah, see, this is for me. This is what I get out of it, versus having a different type of mentality, the proper mentality. Because if you don't honor men, as a woman, you're not going to have success in a marriage, and vice versa. If we don't honor women, we're going to go into marriage objectifying a woman, looking for the woman to just serve us hand and feet, as if she doesn't have a unique personality, a purpose, as if she's not made in the image of God, as if she's not valuable, and you start to view your spouse as just someone who's just there to literally be on your beck and call. And that's part of the problem. And when you define marriage by modern day standards, you're already off track. You have to begin with seeing who created it and honor the individuals, like see the dignity in the individuals that you're seeking to marriage. Like for women, you have to see the dignity in men. Like you cannot just define men by bad experiences and think like, oh, this, marriage, like this is what we have to marry. Because then you'll go into situations looking for all bad things and not able to see the good things. And then as men, we have to see women with dignity, or else it just won't work. Anyways, feel like my tongue is getting tied up. But ultimately, it's a heart posture. And I want y'all to let me know what y'all think in the comment section about it. I think it's a wonderful conversation. And let's take it to the comment section. I'll catch y'all in the next video.